Where'd you say you put?
Okay, we're live.
Some links. See links in chat. What links?
In the private chat. There should be a button there to go to private chat.
Private chat. I'm in there. There's no comments.
There isn't? There should be 2 of them in there.
Here? No? Blank?
Yeah.
No?
Not there?
Not. I'm looking at white screen.
Okay, hold on.
That's
Probably because
real.
I put them in there before you joined.
Yeah, that could be it. There they are. Yeah, and I checked these out before I came here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boot usually has some good stuff, but I'm not recommending.
Well, it's all Intel Mac stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend an Intel Mac, but the iPads are good.
Well, I mean, if people need a Mac, there's no reason why they. Are we on in the Mac to the Future room yet? I'm looking right now.
Yes, you are live. We are live in there now.
There we go. Yeah, now we are.
I see you. Look at the.
Boy, my microphone is like really low. Why is my microphone so low?
It sounds all right to me. I think I hear an echo though of me. I do. Very slight echo of myself.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That was me. You hear the echo?
No, something's not right. This is the same problem I was having on Chuck's show. I think my setup is just like too complicated. I have to.
Yep.
I need to simplify things. So
I don't think the echo's there anymore. I think it's gone.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's gone.
How's everybody doing tonight? We are about 3 minutes out.
All right.
Maybe if I bring the mic a little closer.
You sound fine to me. No, now I still hear the echo. So something changed. So I hear myself, and then I hear it's not even like a real echo. It's like right after me, I hear myself.
What's the echo sound like? Do you still hear it now?
Test. Yeah, there's an echo. Right after I speak, I hear myself. It's not loud, but I hear it. Could be on here. I don't know.
Are you monitoring yourself?
No, I'm set up like always set up.
Check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Test. Man, I still hear it. It's dealable for me. So if you're not recording that way, then it's fine. I can deal with it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's. I don't know what the problem is. Hello,
it's
Derek.
Looping. It's all looping.
Everything is loopy.
Everything's looping. What
right,
chat are you monitoring in Facebook chat?
Just the comments that are coming in through us through StreamYard.
Oh.
Okay, I'm hitting the countdown.
Okay.
Tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast, go. Looking for a deal on Apple hardware? Go to Woot right now, or don't. Older Apple TVs won't be able to play YouTube videos soon, so prices are rising on them because of it. Just kidding. Tired of hearing about Apple versus Facebook on privacy? Yeah, we are too. Kia stock is jumping because of a non-existent Apple iCar thing, and macOS Big Sur is darkening screens no matter what processor it's on. All of that tonight and more on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. And welcome, everyone, to the Mac to the Future Livecast. This is the first one in February for 2021, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything. I am your host, one of your hosts, Guy Searle, and I am joined tonight by Mr. Warren Sklar. Hello, Mr. Warren Sklar. How are you, sir?
Hey. I'm still dancing to that theme music.
I know, isn't that great?
And the countdown is so climatic.
I know. It's like, oh, it's so close.
Just
it's
get to that
there.
one.
Come
and
on,
then,
go.
And then we have to listen to a bit of delay.
Yeah, and then the reward is they get us.
There you go.
That's the reward. So that's what's going on.
Whether they want it or not.
Did you and Dave do In Touch? No, you're doing In Touch tomorrow. I don't know why I was thinking that was last night. No, we did Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices Tuesday night gig last night.
Yeah, I joined for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Isn't it fun? I love doing that.
It was interesting. It was good.
The thing I really like about doing that show is I don't have to edit it. All I have to do is just show up and talk and say things.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't think I know how to edit a podcast if I tried. So I've never done it. So
this one is relatively easy because we do it live. So both the audio and the video, I basically just go, okay, this is where we started, chunk. This is where we ended, chunk. Throw in some a limiter and a compressor so that all the audio stays relatively the same, and then just push it out, and I'm done. So yay!
You have to edit out the nudity.
But doing the My Mac podcast is much more complicated. Excuse me, because we do two segments. So we've got the first segment and then an ad sort of thing. And then we do the second segment, and then there's all the after show stuff. And the stuff that takes the most time is the after show stuff, because I have to go through that very, 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 very carefully, because things are sometimes said that probably shouldn't be put out onto a podcast.
Plus, you have to translate, British English to English.
No, that's easy.
Hey,
how come that's not working? There it is. Hello, Cletus. Didn't work there for a second. Boy, everything is just like all kerflooey today. I don't get it.
Kerfluffled.
Kerfuffle. I am all in a kerfuffle. All right. Well, we've got like 4 or 5 things to very quickly talk about here. Everything is basically in quick takes tonight, folks. Woot is having a one-day sale. What? Woot is having a one-day sale on Apple hardware that may be over by the time you hear about it. And I'm putting up a link here, which isn't clickable. But if you go to woot.com and then just do a search for MacBooks and blah, 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 all that stuff, it should show up right there. And I have the page up, and some of it's already gone. Most of the iPads are gone, but they still have 2017 to 2020 MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros. And then there are still a couple of, like, for example, the 11-inch iPad Pro 3rd Gen from 2018 It's $640.
Yeah, this is not new. Woot does this. They sell Mac Apple equipment pretty
Mhm.
often. I would say maybe once every other week. They'll have something like that. And for those that don't know, it's a division of Amazon. It's a spin-off of Amazon.
Yep.
And
It
basically,
used to be its own thing, though.
yeah,
Long time ago.
but I guess Amazon, yeah, I think so. There's another site that's like that, MEH, which is a similar kind of site, but they only have like one deal a day instead of a whole bunch of them.
Yep.
I bought my wife's Samsung monitor off the Woot site.
Mhm.
It's like it comes from Amazon. It's fine. So it's
You
they're
already have
legit,
that
is what I'm
protection.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah.
So
Also, speaking of Amazon and B&H are also having some deals. Let me bring that up. Pocketnow.com. If you go to that site, you'll see the links to the story, and all the links will be in there for the stuff that they're selling.
it's a
they've
Bezos going away party.
Yeah. B&H has the M1 MacBook Air. I think it's about, I mean, it's not like super great deals, but it's like $60 off, something like that. So you can, or $70. Okay, you can get, let's see, Intel Core i3 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 storage for a $90 discount for the Intel version. And it doesn't say, it looks like it's not a great savings. It's $20-$30 off, but it's still, it's better than a kick in the teeth, I guess. And,
Yeah.
it's
B&H does. Yeah. B&H is one of those places that will sell built-to-order machines straight from themselves. So, like if you're looking, they'll have sales on a built-to-order configuration, which is nice if you want that.
B&H is or was mostly known for photography, but they kind of started branching out into computers and audio and all kinds of other things. I actually have a credit account with them. I can't remember what it was I bought, but it was relatively pricey, and so I got it through them.
I don't know if you have it there, but I think at least for us, if you're outside of the state of New York, it's tax free.
Yeah.
So you don't pay the sales tax.
Well, they charge whatever the tax of your state is. They can't get away with not charging that. But you're not going to get hit up with New York tax.
No. I think you actually don't pay tax on it. I'll verify that, but that's what I heard.
Okay. Well, the last time I bought something from them, I think they basically said, "Well, what's your zip code?" You give them your zip code, and then they calculate what the sales tax is based on that.
Local sales tax. When an order is shipped within New York State, the law requires that local sales tax be added to the order. Purchases in our store, if your order is shipping to an address in state, it's a long read here, but I'm pretty sure it says if you're not within New York, you don't pay sales tax on it.
All right. Well, while you're reading that, I'm going to go on to the next thing here. Older Apple TVs won't be able to view YouTube videos very soon unless streamed through another device, like through AirPlay. If your Apple TV runs tvOS and can use the App Store apps, 4th and 5th generation devices, then you're okay. Older than that, and you're not. But we're talking about Apple TVs that came out in 2012 and below. So chances are, if you have an Apple TV that was made in the last 4 or 5 years, you're fine. You'll be able to watch your YouTube videos.
Are you like me and you have like 2 or 3 of them unplugged around the house somewhere?
Well, I have a 4th gen and I have a 5th gen, and those are the active ones hooked up to the TV. Now my son Guy has a 3rd gen, which I think is going to go dark pretty soon. So if he wants to keep using Dad's account for video, he'll have to upgrade it himself.
I have like 3 3rd gens that are just.
Yeah, if you can't put apps on them, then you won't be able to use them for much
They're
longer.
still good for AirPlay. I mean, if you want to AirPlay something, and it's like it's a cheap AirPlay solution if you don't have another way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if there's something that you want to watch that's on your phone, you just bounce it over. Okay. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time. Let's see. We got some comments. What does that say? YouTube DL to the rescue. I don't know what that means.
You got me.
Okay. Derek doesn't care. And Facebook user, does the third gen not support VP9? Apparently not. So I don't think this is a change from Apple. I think this is a change based on what YouTube is doing.
What's VP9?
Honestly, I don't know, but it's a newer standard.
It's better than VP8, I'm sure.
It is better than VP8. That's what I've read. Thank you for bringing that up, Warren.
I could have had a VP8.
I could have had a VP8. He cares. He has a third gen Apple TV. You're probably is a codec. Okay. Okay. You're going to have to replace that, Derek, or if you have a TV that has the Apple TV app built into it, then chances are you've got the YouTube app in it as well. So basically, this is really going to affect only people with older TVs and older Apple TVs. If you have a TV that was made in the last probably 3 to 4 years, you're probably fine.
It's funny though, because every device within the 6 or 7 years has YouTube capability on it. It's like Netflix, and it's like toasters and refrigerators have like.
Oh yeah, they don't want to keep you. They don't want to keep you from watching YouTube. They want you to watch YouTube.
I think probably in every room of my house, I could probably find a way to watch YouTube if I tried.
All right, now we're not going to dwell on this story. Apple and Facebook have very different views about privacy and data collection. This is currently being beaten to death in tech news, and we talked about it for like an hour and a half last night. And you've probably already formed your own opinion about it, but likely this will come to a head in the next year or so. Plasma TV. Oh yeah. Hang on to a plasma TV. Those things look great. For the uninitiated, Facebook is very upset that Apple is getting ready to force them to ask you whether or not they can use your data, whether they'll have access to your data. That's the long and the short of it. We're not, there's a ton of stuff out there on this. And if you don't care, if you use a lot of the stuff that Facebook offers or that's built into Facebook, then you're probably not going to care anyway and just keep using it the same way that you do. And when the little button comes up asking if it's okay, just hit yes, and you'll be using Facebook just like you always did. Is that about it?
Yeah, I mean, we could go on. Within a year, hopefully everybody's happy. Apple's going to get what they want. Facebook will get what they want. Both companies are pretty big, and they'll figure it out. They're doing it a little different than the Epic situation did it, where they just said, no, we're just going to not do it, and that's it. Facebook is, trying, and they're working with Apple, so I think they'll figure it out.
And saying some nasty stuff on the side, but that's corporate.
Yeah.
Kia stock is rapidly rising, Warren, on rumors about a partnership with Apple over the as yet unannounced car. However, if said Apple car is real, the rumor is that Apple will invest around $4 billion in Kia's Georgia manufacturing plant to build it, or that's what the rumors are. So do you believe that Apple is building a car, and how do you think that's all going to work out?
I mean, nobody knows. We keep talking about it, and then the rumors come. I mean, the rumor's been heavier this time around, I think. They killed it off once before. They could kill it off again. I don't like the whole Kia Hyundai thing. I don't think. From what I've seen, their quality is not as good as some of the other makers. But then I also heard maybe it's not Kia and Hyundai. It could be the main manufacturer of the I forgot the company name, but they manufacture a whole bunch of cars. I don't know. my answer is if they come up, I wouldn't be shocked either way. If they came up with a car, or if they didn't come up with the car, or if they came up with part of the car, or some of the systems of the car. You know, from owning a Tesla, I could tell you that there's a lot of. It's a computer on wheels. It's you know it has updates every few weeks. It's very much like a real computer, like, and it's on wheels.
That
And
you have on the highbuy.
yeah,
That
and
takes you places
yeah, and I
beyond
mean
the
it's
internet.
I mean build building a car. Building an electric car is not that hard. Building a car that's going to fully drive itself is hard for
For it to be
reasons.
safe, yeah.
It's more, it's more for, it's not safe because there's still humans driving cars along with it and interacting with it. If there's a world of, when we get to a world of all electric vehicles, all driving themselves around, I think that will be safe for the most, safer than what we have with humans driving. But the in between is going to be a problem.
Yeah, just think I could do Guy's Daily Drive and not even worry about the traffic.
And that's what I do.
Yeah,
I
that's the
sleep.
dream.
I sleep on my way to work right now, so it's good. But I do love my Tesla. I do love the tech in it, and if Apple builds anything like a Tesla, I think it will do it very well. And
Well, it's supposed to be an electric car, which, based on Apple's stance on various environmental issues, isn't a huge surprise. I gotta wonder whether they'll be able to come up with a car that's affordable for not so much for the average person, but even for the slightly above average person. I mean, how many people are going to be willing to buy a car that starts in the $100,000 range in mass?
well, I mean, if you look at, again, Tesla, they started out with two very expensive models, or one very expensive model, and then another very expensive model, and
Right.
their goal now is, that was a proof of concept, and their goal now is to make more affordable ones, and they are. The car I got was not as expensive as the expensive ones, and I have one in production that's going to be even less expensive.
Well, what's the price range right now with Tesla?
So there's four models right now. There's a 3, which starts at $35,000, but if you add the auto driving thing, which everybody kind of want, you're about 45 at that point. Then there's the Y, which is what I have, which starts at around 45 and goes up to about 50 something, which I got that one. But then you get the X, which is the ones that the doors go up, the SUV. That's about 80-ish, and then you get the original car, which is the S, which is also, it's about 80-ish, depending on where you go. But he's doing stupid things now. He's creating this thing with the Plaid edition. There's a whole new cockpit. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. That has a half steering wheel. It's a really interesting thing. Some people like it, hate it. He has a car that's going to go up to $150,000 because it's the best one to have. But it's going to be a range, and I think that's I think Apple's going to start with a proof of concept, an expensive car, and from there they'll figure out better ways to do it. Once you have the process down, and once you convince people that it's a good product, then you start. That's what Apple does. They kind of build something really grand, and then they kind of build up from it. And most companies do it too. But there's other companies. Ford just came out with their an electric Mustang. Yeah, so they got that, and
it doesn't
it's
seem
going to
like
be.
It doesn't. I think they shouldn't have called it a Mustang. Mustang is a beast, and I just don't see electric car. I mean, yes, I understand that they are faster because the power is like directly to the wheels. It just happens.
It's crazy.
Right away.
It's the fastest car I ever drove. It's crazy.
But there's just something about the sound of an internal combustion engine that can't be duplicated.
Yeah.
So
Ford's doing crazy things with that too. They reintroduced a Bronco, which is now kind of
that
like
thing looks really cool. I'm sorry.
It looks cool, but it's nothing like the original Bronco. But it's like this weird kind of Jeepy thing, and it's it is cool looking. But yeah, but anyways, there's a lot of electric going forward, and it's good for Tesla. If Apple, I'm sure Tesla wants Apple to get into the game too. I'm sure, I'm sure
But
Elon Musk thinks
brings a lot of
interest into electronic cars. Yeah, electric cars, and that's what that's the competition is going to be good. The full self-driving is going to be a ways off, I think, but electric cars, I would say in the next 10 years, we're going to see a lot more electric cars on the road.
Okay. I don't know. I not so much that it probably shouldn't happen, but I guess I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens, because it's not so much the car as the batteries that are storing the power that the car uses. And right now, lithium-ion batteries, that's what they're using, right? Lithium-ion?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, it's not the cleanest source for batteries. And you've got to kind of wonder what's going to happen down the road when these cars need to have their batteries replaced. Where do all the old batteries go? Can that material be recycled and put back into new batteries? There's a lot of questions that make me wonder where it's all going to. But
right. But it'll get. I mean, hopefully the batteries get smaller and lighter as you go along, and hopefully you don't have that much of them.
What I saw recently was up to an 80%. Tim Robertson from MyMac was talking about this. He was saying that Toyota is talking about up to an 80% charge in 15 minutes.
They just said there's a news thing where it's basically, you could do for 15 minutes, you could do up to an 80% charge, and something like a 5-minute charge will get you like 60 miles. And then it said you could do, it could go up to 160 miles per hour, this technology, and it could go 0 to 60 in like 6 seconds. And that's, I think
they're crazy fast.
Yeah, that was the basis of what, the whole concept now, if you see it for these automakers, are basically a battery block. It's the battery on wheels and on a flat surface. And then, the car makers have to figure out what to put on that. And that's what it's going to come down to is, and I've heard people on the Mac Observer talk about it. And basically it's right. Going forward, it doesn't even have to look like a car anymore. Basically.
No, because you don't need that great big space for the engine anymore.
Well, you don't need that space for the engine, and you don't need a driver.
It's power to a transfer case that goes directly to the wheels. Right,
but you don't have. You might not. If you don't need a driver, you could have cars that are circles with chairs facing each other. Or, whatever you could.
People playing pinochle.
It could be a bed. Yeah. You just fall asleep and go. It's a bed on wheels.
Wake me when we get there.
Oh, that is a dream. That is a dream.
Yeah, and hopefully you get there and you're still alive. All right, the last story.
If you don't get there, you won't know.
Yeah, exactly. The last story for the evening. Mac OS Big Sur is causing some issues for some users, as it won't recognize a monitor when connected through a USB-C Thunderbolt port, regardless if it's through a cable, direct, or through a hub. Also locking in at a 30 hertz refresh rate instead of 60 hertz, and only displaying 1080p. Now, unlike the Bluetooth issue, this is not related to the new M1 silicone processor, as it's an issue throughout the line with or on Intel or the M1. So it looks like this is related to the operating system. And I know in some of the stories I was reading, they were, saying, well, 11.2 just came out, and we thought that, this was supposed to fix all these bugs, but they're still there. And I'm still having Bluetooth issues with my Mac Mini, which is why I'm using these in-ear monitors instead of where are they? Right here. I've got friggin' AirPod Pros, can't use them on a reliable basis. And that's makes me cranky.
That's what I'm using on my new M1 Air. It's fine. So that's weird.
Well, I know that there was also some problems with the 2018 Mac Mini, but from what I've been reading, it's been not just the Mac Mini, but also some MacBook Airs and some MacBook Pros on the M1 have also been having Bluetooth issues.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if a software update broke it, then a software update could fix it.
should be
So
able to
I
fix
wouldn't
it.
worry. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. They'll get it.
But it's frustrating because I went from, and now fortunately, reliably, my mice seem to work, unlike what it was doing before. So now I have a wireless mouse that I can use. I've got a trackball or trackpad that I can use that's working pretty well. So that problem has gone away. So now the only issue I'm having with the M1 is with Bluetooth and AirPods. And
So
not
every
just AirPods, but also third
Apple
parties as well.
Apple says every update you get to use one more device that you own. That's how it's going to
So by the time we get to 11.5, I should be good.
Right before the next version of the Mac OS comes out.
Mac OS comes out.
Finally, I could use all my. No!
Oh no!
No, it's like over
Mac
again.
OS 12 is out, and now
No,
nothing
you gotta
works.
put that on there. It's like worse again.
What's wrong with the chip in my brain?
It's a circle of life.
It is. When you die.
Then you die.
All right. Do you have anything, Warren? That's all I've got for tonight.
We had the updates. That's from last week, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I could add is for a brief shining moment, I had the thing working where I could unlock the phone with my watch instead with the beta. So the beta lets you unlock your phone with your mask and wearing a watch. And then I did something, and then it stopped working.
And you don't know what it was you did.
I don't know. So now I got to wait for the next beta to come out to hopefully fix that. So I'm very sad.
What did you change, Warren?
Well, I don't know at first, but since then I've reinstalled I've wiped my watch, I wiped my phone, I reinstalled. I think I wiped my son's Xbox just for good measure, just to make sure it wasn't that.
Just so he could feel your pain. That's what it was.
Just in case. You never know. It could be related. I don't know anymore.
Knock on your neighbor's door. I'm sorry, I've got to come in and reset everything you have in the house. Just
see my watch doesn't unlock my phone anymore. It did yesterday, so you did something. I know it.
Had to be
had to be you.
Yeah. My watch unlocks my Mac. So that's good. I'm
no, it
happy
still
with
does
that.
But soon your watch will. Well, you don't have a Face ID phone, do you?
Oh no, I have the SE. Yeah. Oh no. The SE is Touch ID.
Yeah, you don't.
I have
Face
the
ID
iPad. iPad is Face ID. The iPad
Yeah,
I
it
have is Face
it doesn't
ID.
work. Yeah, it won't work on that. It's only the phone for now.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm a little, I'm right now. I'm a little jealous of your Touch ID because I have to wear the mask all day, and that kind of sucks.
Well, I was reading before we go, since we're on this subject, that the next phone may have a screen Touch ID,
That would be cool.
which I think they probably should have waited for before changing that out. But
Well, I mean, the new iPad Air has the Touch ID on the power button, and if my 11 Pro Max supersized thing had that too,
you'd be happy.
that would be great. Just put your finger right here. I mean, why wouldn't they do that if they could?
I don't know.
We'll see.
All right. Yep. So that's all we got for tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to be here with us tonight. Warren, if people wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do it?
I'm making the rounds this week.
You're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I've been snowed in for 3 days, so this is good. This is good. We got
Therapeutic.
about a foot here, so that was fun. So I'm doing this show, and I'll do In Touch with iOS probably tomorrow with Dave, and Facebook. Back to the Future group is it's been a little quiet the last few days, but that's fine. We enjoy the quiet. But come join us if you want. So it's good.
And if you'd like to get a hold of me, my email address is guy@mymac.com. You can reach me on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot, and I am also Vert Shark. The other podcast that I do is Guys Daily Drive, as well as the MyMac.com podcast. Hello, that I do with Gaz. That was like my really bad English accent. If you'd like to help support the things that I do, you can go to patreon.com/MacParrot. You can go to coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. You can pay a pal by going to paypal.me/MacParrot. Also, all of this stuff that I'm doing is available over on YouTube if you do a search for Vert Shark, as well as you can go over to vertshark.com and see all this stuff there too. And that's all you got to do. It's so easy. So like, share, subscribe to all of those things.
Smash that button.
Smash that like
Just
button.
smash.
Hit that notification bell.
Do you still have that piece of paper from last night? You could.
Do I? Yeah, I do. I have it right here.
There you go.
Yeah, my Cracker Jack graphics team came up with this. This is what they came up with.
Back to the Future. Smash that button.
Smash that button right here. Here's the button.
Somehow you got to get that in the opening credits.
Hit that notification. Do all those things. Yeah,
it's not a clickable button now.
We were talking about we were talking about Facebook and all the privacy stuff last night, and I don't know what was going through my head, but I decided that when I was doing my outro last night that I was gonna draw that and just hold that up while I was doing everything. It got a good laugh, so. I do it for the lulls. I do it for the lulls, folks.
It was a good break. I think I riled everybody up last night. So.
Oh whatever. yeah, you really did. But that's fine. Sometimes you need that.
Yeah, I felt good. It was good for me. Was it good for you?
Very therapeutic. It was good for me too. So that is going to do it for tonight, everyone. Thank you again so very, very much for joining us, and we will see you, all of you, next week, right here on the Mac to the Future livecast. Go. Say goodnight, Warren.
Good night, Warren.
Yeah, there you go. And we're still here.
Hey.
And Facebook user, who was Facebook user? That was Cletus. No, it couldn't have been Cletus.
Yeah, somebody said it.
His name comes up. Because his name came up in the very next one. Oh, no. That it was Cletus. How come it stopped showing his name? That's weird.
I don't know. What about his Pioneer?
I don't know, but he loved it. It must be we were talking about TV sets. That was probably it. He was talking about his TV set.
Is Pioneer still? They're not around anymore, are they? I haven't seen one.
Not in TVs. God, what was the last Pioneer thing I had? Who used to sell that? That was like a store brand, wasn't it? Wasn't Pioneer like a store brand, or was it like their own thing?
Pioneer Electrics. And they still have a website.
What was did you have J.C. Penney's where you were?
Yeah.
They had like their own brand of electronics, because I've got a CD player from them. It was basically just rebranded from someone else, but now I can't remember what the name of it was. And Sears had their own brand, Realistic. Was it Realistic? No, that was Radio Shack.
That was Radio Shack. Sears had their own. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it was just rebranded stuff.
Kobe? No, Kobe wasn't one. I remember Kobe.
See, now I got to look it up. This is what makes me crazy. So we're going to look this up.
What was it?
J.C. Penney's. I'm just going to put stereo brand, because that would be more likely to bring it up than anything else.
Right.
let's see. Vintage stereo receivers for sale. Oh my God. Oh, 1985 TV model. It just says JCPenney's, but no, there was a brand name on them.
Sears, it says, it's
Vintage.
Kenworth.
Was it Vintage? Was that the name of it? Vintage? Looks like it.
Sears.
And Kenmore was Sears for like washing machines and refrigerators, and I don't know if that was what they had for stereo equipment.
No. I bought all my stereo equipment from Macy's personally. No, I didn't.
And it was like high-end, yes. Sears, Sears stereo brand.
The only thing that comes to mind is like the stereo system, the all-in-one that came in its own cabinet kind of thing. It was like cheap. It was like $200 or $300. It had like the turntable and all the equipment in there, but it just everything just kind of broke.
Like built-in stereo speakers, built-in speakers.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so awful. I remember. And this was. I'm older. I'm older than probably most of the people watching this. My parents bought me like one of those all-in-one stereos, and I don't remember if it was from Sears or it was one of the big stores that had an all-in-one stereo. And the big problem with most of those is you'd lose the turntable or the cassette player would stop working. Yeah. And at that point it was just like a steady progression of other things that would go wrong with it. And then you wouldn't have anything at the end of it. It would just be this box that would glow in the dark, and that was all you had. But
it had that one RCA input that you would use if one of the things broke. You would put like another, like you would use just that one aux input that you could use.
That's all you had. You had that one input that you could use.
Aux.
The thing was that the receiver that was built into most of those were like crap. They weren't really that good, but it worked. So, and it was the difference between going out and getting another record player or cassette player or whatever and plugging it in there, or having to buy all new components and spending your own money.
I can't remember what came first. I definitely went to the progression of separate components, and I definitely had a progression of that all-in-one unit. And I don't know which one was the first one. I would hope that I progressed from the all-in-one to the separate components, because the separate components.
Did yours have a CD player? Your all-in-one? No,
it didn't. It had a record player, tape player. It definitely had a tape player and a record player. And
I had two. I had two cassette.
I had one like
cassette
that.
Decks.
Yes.
Yeah,
I had that on my separate. And then when we could realize that we could record CDs or CDs to the tape, or the records to the tape. No, you could never do records to the tape. You could do the CDs to the tape. I think it was right. Could you do records to tape? I don't remember.
Well, I think it would depend on which one you got, because back then, I don't think people or the record companies were all that concerned about it. Not like they are now, because you still had to go out and you had to get a cassette deck. Then you had to get the cassette itself, the tape, and then you had to put it in the machine, and then you had to sit there and let it record whatever it was that you were trying to record. Whereas now it's like like early 2000s, you would just take a CD, drop that in a CD recorder, and say, okay, I want that song, that song, that song, that song, that song. Hundreds of MP3s, and put it on a single disc.
Right. Before that, though, I kind of remember having to, all our, us friends would just borrow each other's CDs and just copy the music onto something, so we didn't have to pay for it. Yeah. And then, of course, we all joined the Columbia Disc Club and get our 10 free. We got our 13 free discs.
Good luck.
And then try to cancel. Yeah. Well, I think we did it like in college, where we're like address, your dorm changed every semester, so like we could never
so
find
it
you.
didn't matter. It's like, oh, sorry, Warren Sklar doesn't live here anymore. So
yeah, There was never.
Yeah. No. Keep sending those CDs that no one is ever going to pay for. Yeah, keep doing that. Good job.
That was great.
That's a plan.
That was the way to build it up.
Well, and the thing was, if you didn't send them the no, I don't want this, you would get them, because
You keep getting it.
I belonged to one of those clubs too. And all of a sudden, I don't even remember how, but I came home from work one day and it was like, what the hell is this? And it was like Chicago or some band that I don't listen to. It was like, where'd that come from? It's like, oh, I didn't send the damn thing in time.
I had a friend that just wouldn't, like, never did it, and he just kept getting it. He just never paid his bill. I'm like, I don't think you could do that. And I don't know what happened. Like, what?
Well, eventually they just stop, because most of the people that sign up for these things, they're under the age of 18, and you can't hold somebody under the age of 18 to a contract like that.
I don't know if
it was a predatory service anyway. I think at some point they didn't. I don't think they were prosecuted, but they were forced to change their business practices. Yeah, BMG.
Yeah, BMG was one, and Columbia Disc, Columbia Records was the other one.
Yeah.
So so we used to do that, but I thought we were worried they were going to do something with our credit, but you never gave them a payment, right? Like initially,
you send them the 99 cents, whatever it was, 99 cents for 10 CDs or 10 records, or whatever the deal was.
Yeah, but we didn't what did we do? We didn't put credit card numbers on there. Did we put a check in there? Maybe I don't know. I don't remember how we did it. Didn't we have to tape a penny to something? Like we taped a penny to the front.
It was all just. If you had sent that in without the penny, they still would have sent you whatever it was that they were going to send you. I don't think they really cared about the penny.
It was like 13 CDs for a penny, and you had to tape the penny to it.
Yeah, it was like, well, he must be serious because he taped that penny here.
That's U.S. currency.
That shows commitment right there. That's commitment.
Well, back in the 80s, it was worth a lot more, that penny.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was the 70s when I was a teenager.
Yeah, but you didn't have Columbia House till the 80s.
Oh, no, we did. We had, that goes back to like the 60s. Oh, sure.
No. Yeah. I remember when it started, like in the 80s.
No, see, that's,
Columbia House.
Columbia, House music subscription.
Holy shit, they still have a website. They're still out.
Okay, I've got Columbia House Wikipedia here. Yeah. All right, introduced in the early 1970s by Columbia Records division of CBS as an umbrella for its mail-order music clubs, the primary incarnation of which was Columbia Record Club, established in 1955.
So it has presence in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember it from the 60s. And then BMG Direct Marketing bought them out. Yeah. And then they shut down most of the music mail order operations in mid-2009. It continued to use the Columbia House brand to market videos in the U.S. and Canada, selling DVDs and Blu-rays, versus the controversial practice of negative option billing. That's what we were just talking about.
Right. Yeah. But Columbia House still has a national website, and they're doing this now with DVDs. You get your free first 2 DVDs for $9.95 each, and it's like a subscription for DVDs, just like it was before.
Yeah, but if you don't send them or contact them and say, "Don't send this to me," they send them to you, and then just they bill you for it.
Yep. Yeah. Kind of like Netflix used to do, but that's it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna go, guys. So thank you all so very much for joining. I think I had more fun with the after show.
Yeah, brought back a little memories.
Yeah,
I kind of remember. I could almost smell the incense.
Yeah, so if you guys have suggestions for us to talk, and not just the after show stuff, but if there's stuff that you want us to talk about during the Mac to the Future livecast like that, then just bring it up. Let us know, and we'll likely talk about it, because it's even though
Apple's
it's Mac
boring.
to the Future, it's not so much that it's boring, but it's like there's no reason why we can't. Hey Frank, it's no reason why we can't talk about other stuff too. So let us know.
Frank had the Okino. I remember. I think my friend had one of those too. Remember those? That was the
it was Japanese brand. It was a Japanese brand.
They all were Technics. I had the Technics. one. So
Yeah, I don't think I still can't remember the name of the J.C. Penney's one, but they had like their own house brand.
I believe it. Sears had it too, and
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
So we're gonna go. So bye everybody.